My last question is in relation to school infrastructure. If there's one thing that COVID taught us was how much we were lacking in infrastructure in our province, particularly with respect to recreation, because so many of our small rural communities were completely dependent on the facilities that we have. To be able to have their young people participate in sports and recreation. So for those communities like mine that don't have separate recreational facilities, our children were pretty much locked out from sport and recreation. So my question is has there been any discussion in the department about that, and any conversations about designating more community schools or revisiting the community use of schools, particularly in relation to recreational facilities like gymnasiums?
Your question perplexes me just slightly, so maybe we could have a conversation about specifically what you're facing in your area, because my expectation would be all our schools are community schools and that they should be available for use. I know there are sometimes struggles with getting support staff to do necessary cleaning and things of that nature, but I think in a lot of communities across the province, our schools are very open and accessible. So maybe we can get more into specifics on your area.
I would very much welcome that conversation, because I think perhaps maybe it is very specific to my region, but we definitely have challenges as far as having accessibility to the facilities, and particularly during COVID it was exacerbated that much more because the schools were not open at that point in time.
COVID would have been more our fault with restrictions that we put on with the uses. So we really did have to maintain the schools for the school activities and not bringing in outside groups. So that did cause a great deal of grief across the province everywhere because of that. But if there's really two separate conversations, the normal access to the school and then the COVID restrictions we had put in. And if there's restrictions that are there, not COVID, I think that's where we need to have a deeper conversation.
No, thank you very much. I'll definitely take you up on that. And that is the last of my questions. I do want to thank you for being here today. I can only imagine how challenging it was being here on the first day of school. I know it was challenging for me to be here on the first day of school. You know, we're going into an important year in my son's life, I guess my daughter's too, but thank you very much. As a parent, I very much appreciate you being here.